Some real crimes don't end with arrests or confessions. They end with a name and a question mark that refuses to disappear. This is the true story of Maura Murray, one of the most intriguing and debated unsolved missing persons cases in American history. A bright, athletic young woman full of promise who, on a cold winter night, simply vanished, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions that even over 2 decades later continue to haunt investigators, her family, and thousands of people worldwide. Let's go back in time to understand who Maura Murray was and what led to that fateful night of February 9, 2004. Maura was born on May 4, 1982, in Brockton, Massachusetts. She was the 4th child of Fred and Lori Murray in a family of 5 siblings: Fred Jr., Kathleen, Julie, and Curtis. She grew up in Hanson, a small suburban town on the South Shore of Massachusetts, in a working-class home with strong Irish Catholic values. Her parents divorced when she was young, but both remained actively involved in her life. From an early age, Maura stood out. She was a brilliant student, disciplined, and highly athletic. In high school, she excelled in track and cross-country running, known for her determination and grit. She volunteered at nursing homes, chatting with elderly residents and making them laugh, an early sign of the empathy that would lead her to pursue a career in nursing. Her ambition took her to the United States Military Academy at West Point after high school. There, she continued running, staying in top physical condition while excelling academically. But during her sophomore year, Maura decided the military life wasn't for her. She transferred to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, UMass, where she continued her nursing studies, following in her mother's footsteps. At UMass, Maura was described as quiet, responsible, and focused. She worked on campus, maintained good grades, and was in a serious relationship with Bill Rausch, a track athlete she had met at West Point. Friends saw her as dependable, though somewhat reserved. But beneath this outward normalcy, Maura was dealing with internal pressures that few people knew about. In the months leading up to her disappearance, signs of stress began to emerge. In November 2003, she was caught using a stolen credit card for small fast food purchases, a minor offense that resulted in charges. The case was continued without a finding, but it hung over her, threatening her future in nursing. Additionally, Maura had been involved in 2 car accidents in quick succession. The first, late in 2003, involved her father's car. The second, just days before she vanished, was more serious. It happened late at night after a party, and she was visibly upset, crying uncontrollably on the phone with her sister Julie. Something seemed to be weighing heavily on her mind. Family and friends noticed Maura appearing distant and stressed. A supervisor at work suggested she seek counseling, but she declined. There were rumors of issues in her relationship with Bill, who was away for military training. Maura had also been searching online about the effects of alcohol on pregnancy, a detail that has never been fully explained. On the afternoon of February 9th, Maura quietly began preparing to leave. She searched for directions to remote areas in northern New England. She emailed her professors, claiming there had been a death in the family and that she would be away for a week. That death never happened. On Saturday, February 7th, Maura spent time with her father, Fred, who was visiting Amherst. They had dinner together, and Fred helped her look for a new car since hers was damaged. That night, Maura attended a party in a dorm. She drank, and around 2:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, while driving her father's car, she crashed into a guardrail. The impact damaged the vehicle. Airbags deployed, windshield cracked, radiator punctured. There was a box of wine spilled inside, staining the ceiling, but later tests confirmed it wasn't blood. The crash wasn't severe enough to make the car undrivable. Maura appeared uninjured. A local resident saw the accident and stopped to help. Maura was alive, standing, shaken, but not visibly injured. She was offered help. She refused it. She claimed she had already called for roadside assistance, but no such call was ever recorded. She asked the witness not to contact police. Then, in the span of minutes, she vanished. When authorities arrived shortly after, the scene made no sense. The car was locked. Her belongings were still inside. There were no clear footprints leading away, no signs of a struggle, no indication of where she had gone. It was as if she had simply dissolved into the night. Search teams arrived quickly. Dogs were brought in. Volunteers combed the area. The surrounding woods were dense, cold, and unforgiving. A tracking dog followed Maura's scent for a short distance down the road, and then it stopped. Abruptly, as if she had entered a vehicle or vanished altogether. The search expanded. Days passed, then weeks. Investigators found alcohol in the car, a rag stuffed into the tailpipe, something Maura's father later explained as a temporary fix for a mechanical issue. There was no clear evidence of foul play, but there was also no evidence of a voluntary disappearance. Every theory had flaws. If she ran into the woods, why were no remains ever found? If she accepted a ride, from whom, and why was no one seen? If she planned to disappear, why leave behind crucial belongings and money? Nothing aligned cleanly. As the years went on, the case grew more complicated instead of clearer. Witness statements conflicted. Timelines were debated. Even the sequence of who arrived at the scene and when became a source of controversy. Some believed Maura was hiding something. Others believed someone else was. Her family never stopped searching. They questioned every lead, revisited every theory, and refused to accept that their daughter had simply walked away from her life. The emotional weight of not knowing became its own kind of punishment. Occasionally, new tips surfaced: a reported sighting, a suspicious individual, a possible confession. Each time, hope resurfaced, and each time, it collapsed. The case was never officially closed, but it grew quiet. Files were shelved, resources shifted elsewhere. Maura Murray became a name spoken in past tense, without an ending. Today, the road where her car was found looks unchanged. Cars still pass through, snow still falls in winter. To a stranger, it appears ordinary. But to those who know the story, it feels different. Because somewhere between that crash site and the darkness beyond it, a young woman vanished, leaving behind no answers, only silence. Some believe the truth lies buried in the woods. Others believe it's locked inside a secret someone has carried for years. And some fear the truth may never be known at all. What remains is a mystery defined not by what happened, but by what didn't. No goodbye, no explanation, no resolution. Just a question that still echoes through time. Maura's disappearance has become one of the most analyzed cases in modern true crime, not for what we know, but for what we don't know. A young woman, a crashed car, a narrow window of minutes, and a mystery that refuses to fade. Some believe the truth is buried in those woods. Others think it's hidden in a secret someone has carried for years. Until that truth surfaces, Maura's story remains unfinished, and the silence around her disappearance still echoes the same haunting question: how does someone vanish without a trace? Comment below what you think happened to Maura. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.